This is a sports catastrophe production. Hey there, hello there. It's Jeff Cutter Diamond. Welcome you to another sports catastrophe on this day. Yes, I finally am doing it on this day. Well, first time in 4 days, but who cares? Anyway, it's time for this one. And February 11th, 1957 was when the NHL Players Association actually started. Of course, the NHLPA had a lot of issues going forward. The league, the NHL decided not to release pension plan fiscal information. Basically, what had happened is that they were asking about the pensions for players, like after their careers ended, but the NHL would say nothing about it. Anyway, so the NHLPA was formed on February 10th, 1957. The problem was that they faced a lot of uphill climb in that thing. There was a movie called Net Worth that actually had the talk about it. The thing. That. So anyway, it was the Net Worth was based on the true story of Ted Lindsay, who alongside Doug Harvey had a small group of players in a battle to protect the rights of players against monopolistic NHL owners. Bruce Norris of the Red Wings, Conn Smythe of the Leafs, James Norris of the Blackhawks, and NHL President Clarence Campbell. The film focuses on the conflict between Lindsay and Jack Adams, who is Detroit's GM and coach, as well as Lindsay's struggle to win over the trust and support of the players, including Gordie Howe, amongst caution and threats from the league and the owners. So, logically, the NHL decided not to give financial information up, and Ted Lindsay said it was not fair to the players. There should be some salary disclosure and all that. And they needed so they talked to some people about doing a players union and all that. It was hard, but they got it off the ground. Unfortunately, the owners did not like it one bit, saying that the players don't have control as much as the owners do. So unfortunately, many players who were the main guys in the NHLPA, the first one, 1957, ended up losing their jobs and all that. Well, basically traded away. The Leafs and the Red Wings got rid of their troublemakers, Jim Thompson and Ted Lindsay, respectively, by sending him to the worst team in the NHL, that being Chicago, at the time. And Chicago, there was a big trade. They got big trades and all that. So the Blackhawks actually managed to get players from that NHLPA stuff and became a dynasty in a sense in the 1960s. Unfortunately, though, that Players Association would disband after another court settlement over several players' issues. But the new NHLPA actually formed in 1967 when Alan Eagleson was the executive director. To prevent the new NHLPA from suffering the fate of his predecessor, Pulford met with it. While Pulford, who was the first president of it, met with the owners of the NHL teams and demanded they recognize the new union, or the union would seek official recognition from the Canadian Labor Relations Board. And the players sought guarantees that no player in the new union would be punished for being a member. And the owners agreed and all that. Of course, the NHLPA would be run in a certain way by Alan Eagleson, who stayed on until 1991 when Bob Goodenough did his job. But Goodenough, unfortunately, did not do well as the NHLPA guy because the first year he came in, the players struck in April of 1992. So anyway, Goodenough would have to see over the 92 strike, the 95 strike, and the 2005 strike. But the owners locked out the players in both 95 and 05. The players struck the first time in 92. Of course, the 05 season was the only time in major professional sports history that a season was canceled. Baseball's gone on since 1901. Basketball has gone on since 1946. And football's gone on since the NFL era, 1920, I think. Anyhow, so, of course, Eagleson's reign as NHLPA director was troublesome as he had criminal charges based on his time at the NHLPA and had to pay $1 million, a $1 million fine, and, of course, pled guilty to counts of fraud and sentenced to 18 months in jail. So anyway, we had the Ted Saskin era, the Paul Kelly era, and Donald Fuhr. Now the NHLPA now has Donald Fuhr. So anyway, it was huge because Donald Fuhr worked with Major League Baseball. So it looks good for them. And all that. So the NHLPA would, they would fight for free agency rules, compensation, not compensation, like salary compensation and all that. So they did a good job. But unfortunately, the owners sometimes are greedy, and the players sometimes are greedy. Nobody wins in the end. And next year, we're going to have a CBA expire in the NHL, which means that we could see a strike. God, I hope not. Baseball's threatening to strike right now. They still are kind of in a lockout. Basketball, I haven't heard anything bad, and neither football. So hopefully everything is A-okay. Anyway, I'm Jeff Down, I do.